Well, it's game week, so we can actually think about and talk about playing a football game. It seems like it's been a long time since we played. We've practiced quite a bit and developed some of the younger guys to this point, and now it's all game planning, so hopefully we can match up against their offense that does a great job of running the ball.
The importance of, I know you talked about, the importance of these practices, these extra practices for you guys for development. Can you speak to that,
Well, I think that there's three great things about bowl games. Number one, it's a reward for a good season. So we're going to go to Fort Worth and have a good time. They'll do a great job with the bowl. The people hosting us will do a great job. We get to play one more game, and that's more important to the seniors than anybody else. But it's kind of it's a little less stressful than the regular season is because of being a bowl game. And then probably the most important for the future, for the future of the program is the extra practices you get with the young guys. Now, I don't know how you would put that importance of what's more important, having a good time or playing a game more for the fun of the game than you do the rest of the year, or developing the team. I don't know what's more important. For the future of the program, the most important is we develop the young guys.
What's the status of Rosales?
We think he's going to start. He's looked okay in practice the last 2 days. He won't last long, though, because it's been so long since he played. He fatigues very quickly. So I don't know how many plays he can go, but we're planning on starting him and seeing how long he can last.
When you guys do practice, how do you, because there is such a long break between game to game, how do you make sure that there is not much rust on your guys when it comes to?
I don't have the answer to that. We'll see. We'll see when the game starts. Because they played just last weekend, so they have 2 weeks to get ready, and we've had almost 4 weeks to get ready. Veteran teams have no issues. Young teams, and we're still a young football team, young teams have issues. We had an issue against Nevada, and all we had was a bye week before that, and we didn't play worth a darn in the first half, and we finally got back up to game speed the second half and played pretty well the second half. So it's worrisome that we might come out and be rusty and take a while to get into the game.
Because of what Bradshaw runs, does it force your defense to play differently? Linebackers become defensive linemen, safeties become linebackers.
Well, whenever you play an option team, and they don't run much triple option, where they're actually reading and pitching and all those sort of things. They run a lot of speed option, which means the quarterback runs down the line of scrimmage and tries to carry the ball wherever there's an opening, and then if there is no opening, and then he pitches it. And then they do a lot of things to make him the tailback with an extra blocker. They'll run zone plays with the lead blocker. They'll run power plays with the two lead blockers, and he's the ball carrier. So it's not your typical triple option team, and they're getting an extra blocker by making him the ball carrier. So it's a very difficult scheme to stop with any consistency, and all you have to do is look how many punts they've had for the entire season. Most people have that many punts in the first third of the season. They haven't punted the ball very much because they keep it away from you forever. And if it's 4th and 2, they're going for it. 4th or 2 or less, they're going for it. If you hear their coaching staff talk, they start a series 1st and 8. Everybody else starts 1st and 10. They start 1st and 8.
Off the bowl topic, what was it like for you watching the Heisman, knowing that maybe number 20 should have been in one of those seats?
I have developed an ability not to worry about things I don't control. Well, I mean, you can't compare them because they're not running the same. I mean, they'll say they're a triple option team, and they do run a little. They run a little triple option. They run a midline option, which is triple, where the guy's actually reading a defensive tackle and pulling it or handing it to the fullback. They run a little bit of triple option, but most of their offense is not triple option. So you can't compare. That's apples and oranges. You can't compare him to a triple option quarterback because he's an option quarterback, but it's not triple option most of the time.
Have they changed what they do in some regard because of his abilities?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think they figure he's the best ball carrier, and what they've done is get very conservative. They take very few chances of turning the ball over because they're not riding a fullback and they're not doing all those kind of things that could cause fumbles if you hit the mesh point. They don't really want him to pitch it, so they block it so he gets to carry it, so you don't pitch it very much, so there's less chance of the ball going on the ground. And they have a great turnover ratio. That's one of the reasons they're a really good football team. And they keep it away from the other team's offense. That's another reason they're a really good football team.
They haven't played the schedule that you played outside of the Ohio State game, but how good are they defensively?
I think they do a lot of things that make it difficult on you, like we try to do it too. They give you a lot of different looks. So the offensive linemen have to be really educated and make sure they block the right guys and all those kind of things. They're very aggressive on defense. But the real trick with their offense is we're only going to get the ball 5 or 6 times in the entire game. They're going to get it 5 or 6 times, and we're going to get it 5 or 6 times in the entire football game. That's, I mean, it's a very unusual, but for a true football fan, it's going to be very interesting to watch. And if it wasn't for the TV package with commercials and all that, I would say we'd be out there in an hour and 15 minutes.
But forward to this type of football game where, I mean, you know, this is old school as old school as you can get, I guess.
Well, I've been lucky to be on teams that we've played, academy teams. I think this is the 4th time I've been on a team that's played an academy team in a bowl game. And since I'm a defensive guy, it is very frustrating on defense, very frustrating. Because if you take chances to stone them, that's liable to be a 90-yard fullback touchdown run. So if you play it safe, then they keep the ball for 15 minutes and kick a field goal. I was involved in the longest drive in the history of the NCAA. We played Navy in a bowl game. They kept the ball 13 minutes and 20 seconds, and they did not score a touchdown. They kicked the field goal, which means that they went for 4th down and got it about 5 times. I don't remember exactly, but it's very frustrating on defense because they have very few lost yardage plays. They're going to go for it every single time when it's 4th and 2 or less. And the offense they run, it's very difficult to stop 4th or 2 or less. I mean, I think they do a great job. And I think if you look at all the academies, they do a great job. And they're running types of the best offense ever designed, in my opinion, because on the chalkboard or on the grease board, you cannot beat them. They always win on the board.
Rocky, when you look back at Rashad Penny, and he does this for the final time here, what surprised you the most about what he became?
I think a lot of things. I think we thought he was going to be a very, very good running back. I don't think we anticipated he was going to be as good as he turned out to be. And for a guy to lead the nation in rushing and lead the nation in whatever else he leads the nation in and still have a kickoff, tie the national record for kickoff returns for a touchdown, and a guy that catches one punt, his very first punt in a game, and goes for a touchdown and all those sort of things, it's a very unique situation. And as good a one season a running back has ever had, and which is shocking that he didn't get more. I mean, he's gotten a lot of notoriety here lately, but it's shocking that he didn't get a couple other things.
Will he return kickoffs and punts against?
He's going to be back there, yes. If I'm them, I don't kick it to him. So he will be lined up back there, yes.
As far as he goes, a lot of times it seems like you're trying to get him more yardage. What do you plan to do with him as far as, you know, everything, you know?
We're going to do what we always do with him. I mean, he's key to our offense. He's going to have the ball in his hand 30 to 40 times. No, I take that back because we won't have it that much. He's going to have the ball in his hands 20 to 25 times out of the 50 plays we get to run.
the early signing period is coming up on Wednesday. Can you speak to getting those early recruits in for you guys, and how do you right now balance bowl games with so many coaches are out on the recruiting trail? You know, getting your team ready for a bowl game, but also making sure that your recruits come.
Well, I think that we have the best recruiting coordinator in the league, in our league for sure, and maybe the best recruiting coordinator in the country. And our coaches have done a great job of balancing getting our team ready to play and recruiting at the same time. It's always a guess exactly how many are going to sign, especially in an early signing period. We think we're going to do really, really well. And we're going to do really well within the community of San Diego, too. That's what we think. Now, on the 20th, we'll find out. And we'll be at the bowl game, so they have to organize all kinds of funny ways to make sure we get the letters of intent before we announce the guys and they're signed correctly and all that kind of stuff. It's much easier here in the office, but it's going to be difficult at the hotel. But going into it, we think we're going to do really, really well. And Tony White, as the leader of that group, has done an amazing job keeping all that organized. And if our projection is even close to what we think it's going to be unbelievable. The number of guys we sign, the quality that we sign, and the local kids that we sign.
The local kids, you really put an emphasis on it. And I mean, you got a guy like Tariq Thompson, you know, making such an impact as a freshman. Why is it so important to keep these local kids here?
Well, I think it's important to try to keep them here. I think there's all kinds of reasons that they don't stay here. I mean, when I was their age, I didn't want to stay close to home because mom and dad would keep too good at tabs on me. I wanted to be my own guy and out there and being able to do what I want without my dad, you know, throwing me up against the wall or something. So there's a lot of reasons to leave town. And then there's a lot of reasons for some of them to stay in town. I mean, they love being with their families. They want their moms and dads and friends to be able to see them play. There's a lot of reasons both ways. So when you don't get kids from the local area, it doesn't mean that you did a bad job recruiting. It doesn't. It's just their attitude about they want to leave town. I think we've got something going here this year that we have a bunch of them that want to stay close to home, and our program has been successful enough. They feel proud to sign with us. In the past, maybe they hadn't won enough games that those kids wanted to come here because they didn't want to be associated. Now, the ones that want to stay home, and there's still some that don't, the ones that want to stay home feel that our program's at a point now that they're proud to be part of it. Now, we'll see if all of them sign. We think a bunch of them are going to sign, but they might surprise us on signing date. There's always surprises.
How many do you think you'll sign?
I think we're going to get anywhere from 15 to 18 guys sign.
This rule change came, I think, in April. This has been a lot more impactful than you thought originally. How, in your mind, has it changed?
Well, I think it's the one rule they've put in that benefits us non-Power 5 guys. Because kids make decisions just like they did last year and the year before, and the Power 5 guys don't have the ability to wait around and sort through the ones they want and don't want. Because they've offered a ton of kids, and then they wait till the end to see how their season goes and to see how their grades are, and then they sort through them and tell the 40 or 50 kids they've offered, we're taking that offer away, we're giving it to him. And what happens is when they lose out on some kids, they come back and take ours. Guess what? They can't do that if we sign them on the 20th of December. And those are the kids, same kind of kids that have been committed to us the last couple of years, and we've always lost 2 or 3 at the very end. And this time, if they all sign, we're not going to lose them at the very end. And they made a decision to come here, and all that is confusing to have people badger them for another month.
So what prevents, in the past they get poached like the week before the February date. What prevented that poaching from happening this time?
I think that the Power 5 schools haven't had enough time to sort through their 40 or 50 guys and decide which ones they want and which ones they don't want. They've decided which ones they want. We'll see how many they get on the early signing date. Very few of the Power 5 guys went after the guys we want, but they're just as good as what they're going to get. I'll promise you they are.
And if you get the 15 to 18, then how does that make the rest of the way go from that time to February?
We can be more selective. I mean, we still have a formula on how many guys at each position we need. We have a need for a couple junior college guys in a couple spots, but it gives us more time to evaluate. It gives us more time to find somebody. It gives us more time to convince them this is the place to be. The ones that are going to sign, we've most of them we offered a year ago after their junior year. And we've had them here several times. We've gone to all their games. Our coaches, more than me, our coaches have developed a relationship with them and everything. And the early signing date helps us. I hear some of the Alabamas of the world are complaining about it. I hear them complaining.
That means they'll change the rule next week.
Which probably does mean that we change the rule.
Can you sign JC players as part of this group this week, or is that a separate date?
Same date if they're midterm guys. If they can enroll in January, it's the exact same date. If they can't enroll in January, it's the February date for a junior college guy. Mm-hmm.
Would you expect to sign JCs this week?
We hope to sign a couple, maybe one or two. They're really shaky though. I have better confidence than in the seniors in high school than the junior college guys.
So my last question about that is this basically the new signing date eliminates the trickle-down effect of, somebody goes and offers one of your kids and then they decide to go to UCLA versus coming to San Diego State, and then you guys need another one of that.
Well, that's the real reason it is that we're still nervous about whether they're going to sign or not, because we've had 7 or 8 of the guys that are supposed to sign with us on the 20th that have been hit up in the last week. Haven't talked to those schools at all, and they've been hit up the last week. So what that means is they lost some of their other guys is what that means.
Sounds dirty. Business.
That's the way it is. But they don't have time now. It's a dead period. They don't have time to develop the relationships our coaches developed with those kids. If you give them another month, they got 3 or 4 weeks to do that.